I just wanted to check in with everyone. Happy Monday. It's evening here where I'm at. Whoever's watching from out of the country, morning to you if it's Tuesday, afternoon, or evening. It's been a pretty intense couple weeks, right? I stepped outside for a little bit in my backyard. We actually got snow yesterday, and then it cleared up with the sun today, so I just really need some fresh air. I went for a drive the other day. I feel that like that Bart Simpson meme where he's like coming out of he's like hiding in the bushes. Yeah, so ever since Monday, the state that I live in has been put in a lockdown. Just kind of what's going on in my area. I don't know if many of you are in lockdown as well in your states. I know that there hasn't necessarily been a nationwide lockdown. So yeah, anyways, many of you have probably already heard that they're starting to research various methods that can help control COVID-19 virus, and one of them is Plaquenil, and that's a drug that's given to people with rheumatoid arthritis and other chronic illnesses that have to do with inflammatory processes and autoimmune issues. So I don't know if many of you watching that have rheumatoid arthritis or any other condition have taken Plaquenil. I actually did try it for 2 weeks about a year ago, and I just wanted to share my experience with it because, as with anyone, everyone's different. As we see, everyone's being impacted differently by this virus. Some people are passing away, others can't even make it up a flight of stairs because they can't breathe, and some people are asymptomatic. They don't even have symptoms and they're walking around not knowing they're even passing it around to people, and others just have a mild, like cold or flu-like issue. So with chronic illness, like medicines that we've tried, sometimes they work for people and sometimes they don't. And with Plaquenil, when I tried it, it was only for 2 weeks, and I think it was around the beginning of January 2019. I can't remember exactly when I tried it because I blocked it out of my memory. I didn't really want to focus on something that worked for me. And at the time, I noticed that I was becoming more inflamed in my joints, and I was like, okay, this is weird. A medicine shouldn't be making me more inflamed. It should be helping me, right? And everything that we take takes time to kick in, as we know. Those of you who take medication know that it can take weeks, months. I was like, okay, let me just give this a chance. I told my rheumatologist, he's like, okay, give it a chance. You don't know. Maybe it could be anything. He didn't really believe me at first, right? He was just like, no, it's not. It's nothing. It's, just keep taking it. You need to take it. I'm like, okay. So the doses that they're trying to give people with the COVID-19 is a bigger dosage than we are given. It's like 200 milligrams or something like that. And those of you who are following me on my Instagram, a fellow RA patient, advocate, and friend of mine that I've met through advocacy work, she actually was contacted by a scientist in Italy, and he asked her to spread a survey to people living with arthritis who are taking Plaquenil or just living with the disease to answer a few questions in order to help him further establish if this could be a proper treatment or not, because they're really starting to believe that it could be. Plaquenil, obviously if it's given to people with inflammatory arthritis, pneumonia is inflammation of the lungs, and it's also an anti-malarial. It's given to people with malaria. I don't know how the connection is. I'm not a scientist or a researcher, but there's obviously something that is in Plaquenil that can really halt this vicious virus, because I don't know if many of you guys have read, but coronavirus has been around before. It's on Lysol. Many people out there are like posting, oh, it's impacting the elderly, and no, it's not only impacting the elderly, it's impacting people who are vulnerable as well, elderly and chronically ill. And many people are forgetting that, and I'll get back to what I was saying right now. But when I was on Plaquenil, I tried it and I kept getting inflamed, and I'm like, okay. He's like, write down what you feel every day, and I wrote down what I felt every day. Every time I took it, I got worse. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's something going on. Maybe I'm too stressed, maybe something I ate bothering me, or whatever. The weather, anything could be impacting or triggering a flare. So I was like, let me see what's going on here. And the inflammation that I was experiencing wasn't the inflammation that I would get if I was stressed or if I ate something that bothers me, or just like any of those other little things that we know within ourselves and our bodies what it's like. And so I was like, okay, let me try something. I'm going to take Plaquenil first thing in the morning, nothing else. I'm not going to take my prednisone. I'm not going to take any supplements or vitamins. I'm not going to even eat anything. So I took it straight, and I had an early morning appointment, and I went 8 a.m. As I drove 15 to 20 minutes from my house to my appointment, my thumb and my right hand like swelled up like a balloon. And he's like, what happened here? I'm like, what happened? I took Plaquenil. That's what happened. I ended up having to get 6 injections that day. And that was the end of that. So I never tried it again. I'm like, screw this. It's not just a regular cold and a flu. People out there are like, I've had mild symptoms. I'm okay. That's fine for you. But there's people who are dying, and there's people who can't even breathe. You know what I mean? And are fighting for their life. So just because you had mild symptoms doesn't mean the people who passed away or can't walk up a flight of stairs are doing well. So how do you justify that? How do you explain that is not being serious, you know? So we have to be mindful and use discernment when we're reading up on information. And I saw a meme that was, many of us can relate who have chronic illness, that it was like, oh yeah, this is nothing for us. We've been prepping for this for years. And it's true. Like, how many times have we been in quarantine? You know, again, like everyone is acting like they've never been in their own self-isolation or quarantine before. Have you ever not been sick with the cold or flu? Have you ever not needed to stay home because of surgery or work from home? I saw something on Twitter where someone said, how nice is it where all of a sudden people are granted free access to concerts, working at home, some people are getting paid to work at home, all these little things that are being offered to us by like the snap of a finger. So many people with disabilities and chronic illness have been fighting for so long. And why is it just granted to everyone? Just because it's a need. You know, it's always been a need. So that's also one thing I found interesting. And, you know, in the past too, I've had people ask me like, how do you work from home, or how do you stay at home all the time? Well, I don't know. How do you stay at home when you're sick with the cold or the flu? How do you stay home when you work from home? It's not anything different. Obviously it's hard when you work from home and you can't really go somewhere, and sometimes it's out of your control. When I had knee surgery, it took me like about 6 months to a year to fully recover. And I remember people were like, well, you had the surgery a year ago. I'm like, well, because there's some issues I'm still dealing with, and it's like a full-time job for me. I don't really have time to go out to the city. That's like not my priority. And a lot of people don't really understand, if you haven't gone through something, it's really hard for you to get it. I don't know, maybe there's like a bigger, you know, purpose to everything that's happening right now, for people to learn their own lessons internally and as a collective whole in the world too. To have more patience, understanding, empathy with people, patience with ourselves. And that's not to say about people with chronic illness, but people in war zones, famine, you know, all these people have been going through the same emotions that we have been going through. The hysteria, the fear, the worry, the isolation, trying to leave a city that's been impacted, or hoarding things, food, not knowing if you're going to have enough food to eat. So hopefully this brings more light into the situation that we're all facing. If you can really call people passing away from a virus that literally impacted the world overnight something that can be seen as a silver lining, but you know, there's other things that have been going on within this that we can, I don't know, I guess like for me, when it comes to self-isolating and stuff, like this is nothing new to me, and it's not new to many other people I've talked to, because I've experienced self-isolation to the extreme at points. Often, like I said, I was always like, I can't wait till this is over, I can't wait till this is over so I can go do what I want to do, and enjoy the simple things again. And when you're in those times, you tend to find things that are creative to do, and you go around things differently, and that's what I learned myself. And so like right now, it's not really a big shock to me. It's not really my new normal. Obviously now people are being told they can't do something, so I think that's why it's also a new normal. When you're told you can't do something, that's when it's kind of a problem. People like to do what they want to do when they want it, how they want it, whatever. Oftentimes you can't always do that. Like we saw in Florida, people partying and stuff, not really giving a shit who they impact. If they impact the elderly, their parents, people who are vulnerable. You know, I personally miss the little things, like going to the movie theaters, being able to go to a friend's house, or even the gym for like a quick workout or something. I don't know. I don't go to the gym often anyways, but there's a little track that I go in at my park center and walk. You know, that's all shut down. So those are little things that I enjoy doing outside of my own self-isolation when I work at home, which takes extreme focus and determination, and a lot of people are starting to like really have to do this on a daily basis now. It's not easy. Just wanted to come on here and see how you guys are all doing. See if any of you have tried Plaquenil for your condition. If you have, you know anyone or yourself has been impacted by the COVID-19. And let us know how you're feeling, you know. Everyone's impacted differently, like I said, and everyone's different, so we're going to have to embrace that fact. Respect people who may be going through things that we're not going through. So, yeah. Anyways, until next time, guys, stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy, and spend time with yourself doing things you always wanted to do, maybe that you haven't had time to do. I know for me personally, like even if I do work from home and I'm like home, majority of the time, like because I don't go into work, but I'm finding now that I'm really starting to focus on things that I was putting to the side. And I think many of you guys can relate, and spending more time with your loved ones. Like I know for me, we ordered Monopoly and Jenga. Like we have some games in our garage, but we gave most of them away. Even our bikes, like when we stopped using them, because at one point we just weren't using them anymore, so we just gave them away to kids in the neighborhood or like donated them or whatever, because you can always get new stuff anyways, a new bike or a new game. So we got Jenga and Monopoly. It's coming this week, so that'll be really fun. And these are things that maybe we should have been doing from the beginning, but we get so busy that we don't want to sit down and do those things anymore either. So yeah. Anyways, let me also know what you guys are doing to keep yourself busy, or any workouts you're doing. I'm going to go inside now, do a little workout routine. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye. Love you guys.